If you bored, then stop complaining. Tap into Slightlee daily. Pods and blogs and playlists. Everyday entertainment. Slightly to the daily. Slight to the lead to the. If you bored, then stop complaining. Tap into Slightlee daily. Pods and blogs and playlists. Everyday entertainment. Slightly to the daily. Slight to the lead to the daily.
Welcome back to, I don't even know, this is like the 5th or 6th Zoom call I've done. On a very, this is a special one too. I think you are like the 4th female guest. So I haven't had a lot of females. So please introduce yourself. This is episode 82. It's going to be on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that stuff. Let's get this thing going. Hope, please introduce yourself.
All right. My name is Hope Headden.
Headden.
I have a podcast.
I didn't know
it's
if it was
Headden.
Okay.
Because it's like head and den squished together.
Gotcha.
But I have a podcast with my best friend Julie. We Bucky Booze. I have the koozie right now.
Nice.
But yeah, I basically just do that, work, play with my dog, stuff like that.
Nice. So, okay, let's just start out with this. So I did have Julie on here, and I know Julie because Mylena is friends with Julie and all that jazz. So let's start out with this, just kind of this mutual thing that we have. So, how long ago did you guys have the first inception or first conversation about, hey, because hey, we can do this podcast thing? Because there's a lot of people who are a lot of friends are we can do that too, right? You know what I'm saying? Which I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with that, but when was the first conversation that you had with her, around what time, and kind of how did that go?
Like when we got serious about it was probably like a month before we released our first episode. But we had talked about it before, like with our friend Elise. We'd been like, oh my God, guys, we should start a podcast. And she had already started doing like YouTube videos before. Like Julia had done some YouTube videos. So I knew she was like down to make content. So
yeah,
we just started talking about it and we're like, we can do this. This shit's easy. Let's just do it.
Yeah.
And we were bored. It was quarantine. It still is. So
absolutely. Quarantine has been like the really push on just hey, maybe don't be as social, has really pushed a whole lot of creative people to be more creative. You know what I'm saying? People who you would never think who would be into crocheting or baking, that type of stuff.
Yes, the random shit.
Yeah, just creating stuff. I think whenever people hear the word creative, they think, oh, well, I have to be Basquiat or Kanye West or, James Patterson. No, being creative is any, really.
It's anything, yeah.
And you don't have to post about it,
Yeah, just like you said, cooking and everything like that.
Yeah, that's creation,
Yeah, it's creation, and you can just make recipes off the top of your head. You can put whatever you want together.
Right. So when I have listened to 90% of y'all's episodes, by the way, I've listened to most of them. If not all. So when exactly was the first episode released? It was this year, but how long ago? What month?
August 1st. I guess technically the very first episode was released July 31st because we didn't do a trailer. That's one thing that we failed to do. We thought that it would be fine and that we would show up on Apple and whatever, quickly.
Yeah, boom.
And then the night before release, I was reading about it and I was like, oh shit, we got to get this out. So I just released the first episode on the 31st, but we didn't tell anybody until the 1st.
It's really interesting. So I said it at the beginning, but being a female in that space is, or any kind of, being a female in any sort of industry is tough. I come from a single mom. She's a teacher. So I know, I feel it. And being two females coming together to create, get in this space is I think it's really awesome. And I think it's really dope, that you guys are from, there's a degree or two of separation between me and you and me and Julie,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's really dope. So
I can tell you stories. First of all, I used to be in a band, not anymore. I was very good. I just played like bass synth or whatever. So I played like 4 notes a song.
I was gonna ask you about that too. Let's talk about that.
But being a girl in a band, you'll like come to a show and people will look at you and just like scoff and be like, whatever, while you're moving shit in. And then you play and all of a sudden they want to be your friend and they think you're cool. And it's just like, fuck you, dude. Like, just be nice to other people. I don't get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do feel like that is changing though a tad. I feel like it is getting better. I mean,
definitely. This was like 3 or 4 years ago. So
right. I actually saw it recently today trending on Twitter. Twitter is ESPN is having like, I can't remember her name, but there's like a female who's going to be like host of Sports Center or something like that, like a prime time, spot for Sports Center on ESPN, like a female. Like, I mean, that's, girls like sports too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I played tennis.
Right. I mean, like, why has it always just been some bald white guy on Sports Center? Like, so let's talk about the punk rock stuff, because that to me is, that is Chinese to me. Okay.
Okay.
I've been
Sorry, I had a burp.
Oh, you're good. I've been to one house show ever.
Really?
Okay.
Was it in Murfreesboro?
Yeah, it was. I cannot remember what house it was.
Describe it. I can tell you.
I mean, I'm sure when I describe it, it's going to sound like every other house show. But I don't know. There was a band there. We listened to 2 bands, and I mean, it was really just kind of like a house party, but there was a band there. So I was like, oh, and I love music, all types of music. You can appreciate it all. But like, one of the band members was like, "Hail Satan," and like screaming it. And I was like,
sounds like a punk show.
I was like, this is the kind of party we're at right now. So how long have you and your boyfriend or fiance, congratulations. I'm up to date on that. So how long have you and your fiance been, like, is that something that you guys share, is like the love of punk? Kind of defined punk to me, kind of, just take me down this road.
We started dating in 2013. Okay. I guess I was a junior in high school, I think. But before we had started dating and stuff, obviously I was like emo in middle school. So I liked shit like Blink-182 and like pop punk. And then when I got older, I got more into like Bikini Kill and the Dead Kennedys and more like feminist punk, I guess. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but I started listening to that, and then we started dating. And it wasn't until like a few years ago in Murfreesboro that we really got into the punk scene, because before we were doing more of like I don't know, like our band wasn't really punk. It was more like a mix of synths and electronic with like some sort of weird rock influences, like psychedelic type of shit. So we like grew into that together. Like, we both had interests in that, and then we kind of like got older and we're like, fuck it, punk is cool.
So how long ago did you guys do the band, and like how many years was that?
The band was, I don't know, I guess we had it for like a year or so, because we kept having trouble with our drummer. Like, the first drummer we had 3. The first drummer fucking, like, we were practicing. It was good. It was great. And Hunter at the time was playing guitar. I did the bass synth, and then we had this other guy that was playing the computer. He was just like over here playing some video games to make some background noise. But anyway, he stopped responding to us. We had 2 shows booked. He stopped responding to us like the week of. He wouldn't come to practice, and so he just didn't show up at the show. Hunter had to drum for that show. I had to pick up the high ends and like fill it out. It was terrible. So we got rid of him. We got this other guy who just like did a ton of drugs the whole time, which was not fucking cool. We were like, dude, you can't. Yeah, it's like, you can't just like take acid and come to a show because you think you're playing good and you're not. You're slowing all the songs down. Yeah. Like, you sound like shit. I love him. He was actually on our show the other day.
Okay.
But and then we had another one, and we just decided to say fuck it, and it's over.
How many shows did you guys do? Like, quite a bit?
Yeah, I couldn't count. We were like
Wow.
going up. We played in Nashville almost exclusively. We played
Mm.
one show in Murfreesboro when I like first got into college in Murfreesboro, and then we uh we broke up, and I got really
Mm.
busy with schoolwork and decided I didn't want to do it
Oh,
anymore.
okay. So, um, when exactly did you guys break up? What is this, like 3 years ago type shit or
I'm
longer?
trying to think. I graduated in 2018, so I guess around
Mhm.
2016, maybe
Okay.
4 years.
So what the venues that you guys were doing, were these like house shows or were they actually like stage venues type shit?
It was both. We played. Have
Mm.
you heard of the End?
I don't think so. In Nashville, I'm not
It's
sure.
in Nashville. Do you know like where the Exodus is?
I've heard of that. Yeah, I know of it. I know it's a
Like it's by
pretty
Cafe Coco's and stuff. So the
okay.
End is right across the street from the Exodus. So that was like a real place that we played.
Mm.
But also I wasn't 18 for some of it. And then when I was 18, like I couldn't get into some of the venues because they were 21 up. So we played there a few times. We played at this place called the Mouth Hole, which is super fucking sick. It's a house show. And then we played at this place called Dark Matter,
Mm.
um, which in like its first being, I guess, there was like 3 different places that Dark Matter was, I think. So we played at Dark Matter a few times, and
So when you guys
those
would
were the biggest
perform, was it like
places.
almost exclusively punk and band type shows?
It was just bands. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Our friend tried to DJ a little bit a
Like
few
some
times.
EDM?
We did. We had this weird ass show that this guy named Mike Good booked for us. He like just wanted, he was like, "Hey guys, I'm throwing a show. Come down and play." We were like, "Okay." So it was our band, Club Chi, which was like weird psychedelic. It did get a little bit heavy sometimes. And then this guy named Beezy Glocks, who's a rapper. And then my friend, who I haven't talked to him forever, but she played a Club Penguin set where she took samples from Club Penguin and like mixed them all together and made a
Okay.
song.
That's creative.
And like then someone else had an acoustic set that same night. It was
Mm.
so terrible and weird, but we've played with a lot of different
Huh.
genres.
That's
If you
really
go to
interesting.
shows, there's different genres generally, but I like to, when I plan shows, I like to keep it like, I
Same.
think, yeah, I like to keep it similar. And then I
Yeah.
think, okay, what's the order of bands that's going to like sound cool? Should I
You
get it like heavier? And
you know what? I agree with that, but also like you guys you've been to a music festival, right?
yeah, we actually helped plan one in Murfreesboro.
Oh, nice. Well, I was just because like look, something like Bonnaroo or Midtown or something like that, it's like a clusterfuck of genres, you know, it's all
Yeah.
types of shit. So I feel like maybe to some degree, at sometimes it might be nice to be going to a concert and it'd be like, oh, this guy's gonna do an acoustic set. There's a punk band. There's a rapper. Like it might be cool in some places, but like also, yeah, there's probably some
Yeah.
venues where it's like, oh, this just needs to be just punk tonight.
Yeah, I think it really depends. Like when you get into punk, there's all sorts of different like subgenres, I guess. There's like hardcore punk, pogo punk, like
Mm.
folk punk. Like
Explain to me the best you can. Like who would fit
boy,
into?
I cannot explain.
I got
It's
you.
pogo punk is like really happy, bouncy,
High BPM, like
like
really
everybody.
fast.
Yeah, it's like when everybody
Okay.
yells "oi" and shit like that. It's
Okay.
I I personally don't listen to that unless I'm at a show. A good local band for that would be Wrecked. There's a band called Chips Ahoy.
Okay.
Hardcore punk is like the heavy, fast. Like
Okay.
my fiance's band Shinkira, they're like hardcore punk.
He's still in a band?
He's in a couple.
Okay,
Mhm.
nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Basically, if you're a drummer, you're in like at least 2 bands
Okay, so he
because no one's a drummer.
so he's exclusively a drummer?
No, he like in our band he played guitar. He
Okay,
can
okay.
play any fucking instrument you put in front of him.
Nice.
It's annoying. I love it, but it's annoying. I wish I could do
Yeah,
that.
I personally cannot play any instruments, but I know how to use like I know how to make beats and stuff like on
Yeah.
the DAWs, like the programs and stuff, and you know, I've
Do you use like
recorded.
Ableton or anything?
I haven't used Ableton. I've used Logic and Fruity
Okay, yeah.
Loops FL.
Oh yeah.
It's mainly for rap rap beats and stuff.
I guess Ableton would be a more like complicated shit.
It'd
Like
be
you don't need that if you're
no,
not.
if it's for like if it's for like instrumentation, that Ableton would be good for that, or like something like Logic, because like
Yeah.
or Pro Tools. Pro Tools is anything.
Pro Tools is what, I like Pro Tools. But I don't know if I would. I did make a song on Pro Tools once, but I don't think it's as user friendly for making songs than it is like recording, mixing, mastering.
You got to know what you're doing on Pro Tools. I had one producer I worked with. That's the only time I actually used Pro Tools. It was just like, I don't know. If you think about it, it's all the same shit. It's a recording software, but like the controls and shit is like way complicated.
You gotta get those shortcuts, the
control
keys,
B
hot
or whatever.
keys or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, so Bucky Boo's podcast, audio only. I gotta ask you guys. I've talked to Julie about this. Why do you guys not try and integrate? I know you guys don't film together, but why don't you guys try and integrate like some sort of video to it, or at least clips or something like that?
So we intended on doing that like whenever we first started. We recorded our first episode and we recorded ourselves like on video, like in our little FaceTime chat. Like we did that and it was fine. And then we go to do our second one and we didn't notice that we had stopped recording because we were just like staring at each other in the little like video.
Yeah.
So we get through like our episodes are like an hour, like 45 minutes to an hour long. We get through with it and we're like, oh my God, like that was great. That was so fun. And then we had to like re-record it all because we lost it because we were focusing on the video. And then I was like, well, I already edit all the sounds. Like that takes a while.
Yeah.
And then you're going to go over here and edit the video. And sometimes like I have to edit out her burping. I edit out whenever we take sips of drinks because who wants to hear that? Like that's gross.
To a certain degree, yeah. Yeah, like, I feel what you're saying.
When we do the booze or lose, it's like 5 seconds of just total silence except for mouth noise. It's so gross.
You know, there's actually a market for that. People love ASMR.
Yeah, we've mentioned that before.
There's like a big, like, my friend Nathan. So there was one episode where me and my friend, we had, what was it? We were drinking ice and whiskey in a glass, and we were just like drinking it. And my friend's sister Sabrina, she was like, I recommend that you have a glass with ice in it every episode.
Man,
like
it does sound nice.
For some reason, people, I don't know. It is hard to explain. It's like this mental thing. Because I enjoy it too. Because I watch Pokemon card opening videos. And
I saw those on your channel too.
Yeah, I've been getting into that as well. But like, there's a certain degree of like the packets crinkling and stuff that is like
it's just like
it's kind of calming. I don't know. It's so hard to explain.
It is calming. I like watched a video about this is like
the science
starting to get meta actually. Like I watched a video about ASMR creators, but they were also kind of talking in ASMR. It was weird. They were like talking about it and about how it's like it calms you. And I don't know why. It's weird.
I can't believe I'm forgetting this too. My friend Leroy Knox, who I've had on the podcast, he raps and stuff. He has his own ASMR channel too. We did a whole podcast, like we did a whole segment on the podcast. I can't believe I'm just not thinking of this, but we did a whole segment on the podcast where he told me, because he got off of social media like completely, like he's not on the internet at all besides his music.
I did that for a while.
Yeah, and we were just talking about that mostly because like I have his phone number and he texted me, he was like, hey man, or like I texted him like, hey man, I know you're not on Instagram anymore, but like, you know, you want to come hang out, do a podcast? And he was like, yeah man, I've been doing these ASMR videos. And he was like, dude, they like calm me down so much. Like they literally like help him sleep at night, you know? Like he it's just like random things. Like he'll do like the Keurig cups, and he's got like this really nice
just
mic,
like shake them
and like tap them. I don't know. There's a market for it. Like there's a market for anything on YouTube.
There is.
YouTube is the Wild West. Like
I know.
I'm always on YouTube as well. But but yes, I've told Julie this. But I want to tell you this too. I really encourage you guys to get the video with the podcast, even if it's just clips, just like a minute clip,
Yeah.
for the IG pages, because it really adds another element to,
Yeah.
like, it's good to be versatile wherever it is, like on Apple and Spotify and Amazon podcasts or whatever,
Yeah,
Google.
we're
And
listed
also,
everywhere now. We
right.
just found out. Yeah.
So yeah, and then also the YouTube thing too, because that is where probably 90% of my traffic comes from
Yeah.
is the YouTube stuff. I mean, but yeah, so
We do have a YouTube channel, but it's like different content. It's like
how,
more vlogging
how
style
much,
stuff, but we only have one video right now.
which was that the one where you guys went to the
Yeah, we went to a brewery.
brewery,
Yes, we need to go to a distillery. That would be
a
great.
distillery.
Anyone want to hit us up? Like,
Hey,
give us some free drinks.
the Jack Daniel's distillery would be a cool vlog for y'all.
Yeah, I went there when I was a kid.
Right. Me
It was
too. I
kinda
went there when
weird.
I went there when I was underage too.
Yeah,
I
it's like
think
disappointing. You can't try anything.
I think it would be cool for you guys because I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's like a huge corporation, but so
Listen, if they want to give us some free stuff, I will take it.
absolutely.
The Big River was really cool though.
Yeah, tell me
It was,
about
like,
that.
so
That was in Chattanooga, correct?
Yeah, Chattanooga.
How exactly did you guys like link up with those people?
Julie reached out to them and was like, "Hey, we have a podcast." And just asked them if they would be willing to do something for us, like give us some free samples or something. And they're like, "Yeah, why don't you come down and you can interview our brewer and like try all of our drinks and blah blah blah." And we were like, "Holy shit, okay."
I listened to that one. It was interesting. I like that you guys have the podcast where it's just you two, and then I like that you guys sprinkle in some guests every once in a while, like
as a treat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
See, with me, it's 90%. I do solo podcasts, but they're much shorter. It's basically just me getting a little buzz, or I'm just cracked out on caffeine, and I'm just like, all right, 30 minutes, cool. That sounds good. Just if I can't find a guest or something. So like most of mine it's guest driven.
Yeah.
Every episode I'll have a guest, and it'll be, it's nice to have the guests because you can kind of, when you have a new person in there, it's
different stories. It's different.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
everything.
a completely different, just vibe. I mean, with you guys, with it being, you got to treat it as a program. When it's you and Julie, you treat it as, okay, so here's the segments. What do you guys always start with the booze or lose thing? You guys have like right. And that's like, it's a good thing to have like a format, because like people will get used to it, and then people will start to be like, oh, what are they into today? Like,
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? And then also I just think it's really dope that you guys are just consistent with it as well too. You guys are what, 20 something, episode 20 something?
Yeah, like 22.
Yeah.
22 or 23, yeah.
This is I did a lot of research before I actually started, specifically the podcast thing. Just literally just surface level stuff. What is the best equipment? Blah blah blah. How to start a podcast. What do I talk about? That type of stuff.
Like, yeah.
And I stumbled across this one really important video. There's this guy named Gary V. He's like a entrepreneur, spokesperson, motivational speaker guy, and he's talking about podcasts specifically.
Sorry, my ear turned on. It's good.
He was talking about podcasts specifically, and he was talking about how he hears so many people say, "Oh, I'm going to start a podcast. I'm going to start a podcast." And then they do 3 episodes, and then the next month they drop one, and then that's it.
Yeah.
So the
they
fact
don't think about it.
Exactly. Yeah, well, or just like pushed through, like, man, that mental block of like, dude, this is not where I think the numbers should be, like that type of shit.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You can't focus on that. Like,
so you just gotta keep that shit pushing, and you guys like don't get complacent with like 22.
Oh no, we are not
222. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because like I was talking about the YouTube thing, like we live in a very I went to school for journalism at MTSU. So like I learned a lot about just media and the origins of the radio and all that type of stuff. And we're in a very polarizing time for media because the internet, we have never seen anything like the internet. Like people have always been obsessed with media. Radio, people were glued to the radios,
Yeah.
newspapers. People had their face in newspapers all the time. That was so fun. Comic books. And when the black and white TV came out and there was 3 channels, people were obsessed with it. But like now that we have the internet, people are using media at a exponential rate that we have never seen, like ever.
Like constant.
We are all on our phones. We are using the internet every single day. I guarantee it. Like in some way, everybody that you come in contact with has logged on to something today.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting at is just the fact that because what it's going to come to is a lot of people are going to make the transition to the internet for some kind of work, to make some money off of it. And you can. And I don't know. So what do you guys want from Bucky Boost podcast? What do you want to turn it into? Kind of what are you guys' ambitions with that?
Well, we would like to be able to do it like full time, like get paid for it. Maybe like it'd be cool to have live shows and like go out and do stuff like that.
Yeah.
But currently we're working on getting sponsorships. We're selling our merch and making money like that. And just slowly, like, we both believe that if we're just consistent with it and stick with it, like something's going to come of it. Like we can only go up. Like
absolutely. And just having another person with you too, don't take that for granted because
well, we hold each other accountable for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like don't take that like, cause for me, I definitely have a support system of people who support me and stuff, but like I kind of, if you really get into it, if say in a perfect world, you and Julie, the Bucky Boost podcast was where you wanted it to be, you would have a team of people. All Hope would have to worry about is, what am I going to say on this episode? All Julie would have to say worry about is, what am I going to say on this? Not Hope is like, oh, well, shit, I got to edit this too. And then I got to make
some t-shirts.
Right.
Yeah.
So like in a perfect world, you will have people, a team to do that. You know what I'm saying? So like starting out on something at the base level, it can be tough and discouraging because you're like, oh my God, like
there's a lot of work,
absolutely.
Especially with a weekly podcast. Yeah.
Weekly. Yeah. I always say this too. I've said this, my viewers have heard me say this 1,000 times, but if I could do a podcast every single day, I literally would. Like clocking in like a job. Like and I personally couldn't sit here solo and do a podcast every day by myself. But if it was a new guest every day,
a new guest, yeah,
I think I could manage that. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. I mean, as long as you're not, I feel like if I didn't have another job or anything and I could just spend my time on it, I could do that every day with a different person. Because I do feel like if it was just me talking to myself, well, actually, I don't know. I can think of a lot of things to complain about. I love complaining.
There's a market for that.
My forte. So I could just use it as a little journal, a little diary.
No, there's definitely there's definitely like, I mean, the weekly format, the weekly schedule is actually like, it's really smart because
it's a lot easier on us.
It's a lot easier on you mentally and physically. And it gives the viewers like, oh, what day do you guys have like a set day usually?
Every Friday.
So every Friday they're like, oh, here comes the Bucky Boost podcast. And then also you're not getting burned out either.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was worried about. Like when we started, Julie was like, hey, Hope, I think we should actually try doing 2 episodes each week because blah, blah, blah. And I was like, Julie, I love you.
Yeah.
But no. Yeah. Like we can't do 2 episodes each week. First of all, I have a full-time job and I have to edit every episode. That's not happening.
Right.
Second, like you think like we talk to each other all day, every day. We're going to just like stop it and save it for like the podcast. I don't know.
Right. No,
I feel like
I understand exactly what you're saying. It's not that like when it comes to that, like you got to think of it as like a program. Like, these people who we grew up watching. I mean, I'm not necessarily like the biggest talk show host, but as a podcasts are like this weird hybrid of like talk shows, like a Jimmy Fallon type deal mixed with radio. Like it's this thing of its own, to be honest. So
Yeah.
you've got to kind of like figure out, how do I come up with topics and not be boring, I guess, essentially,
Oh, yeah. We've trashed episodes. We've trashed
Oh,
like 2 episodes because we recorded and we're like, this
yeah.
fucking sucks. Like, no one's gonna want to listen to this. Let's just try again tomorrow. Like,
Right. Trust me, I have lost about 5 podcast episodes. So I feel you. I feel
yeah,
you on that.
listen, we're only at 2 and we have 20 episodes.
Yeah,
Like
I've been
20
there.
episodes and we've already lost 2. That's whatever though. I mean, win some, lose some.
So tell me, all right, let me ask you this. What are some things that inspire hope as a person to drive you as a creator, or just, what kind of drove hope to be, oh, hey, I want to have the thoughts, hey, I want to be in a band, hey, I want to make a podcast, not even, movies, TV shows, books, comic books, Legos, anything like that type of stuff. What are you into, I guess, is what
What
I'm
am I
asking.
into?
But like,
Well, I was gonna say, it's bipolar. I get manic and I just start things, but that's basically it. But also, I've just ever since I was in high school, I knew I wanted to do audio stuff. It's funny because that's literally what I went to school for. And then when I started this with Julie, I was like, well, she's not going to be able to afford any microphone. I don't feel like buying a new one because mine are beat the fuck up.
Mm,
So I have a degree in audio engineering.
okay.
And I use the cheapest shit ever to do a podcast. But I don't care.
Yeah, it sounds
It
you
sounds
guys.
fine.
Yeah, it does sound fun.
But we I just knew I wanted to be in audio, so I
What
loved
made you
music.
what made you want to get into that though? Like who or what as little Hope in 7th grade made you want to you'd be like, man, how did they do that? Like, you know what
Well,
I'm saying?
I didn't actually know what I wanted to be in 7th grade, but I knew I liked music. I had grown up. My best friend's mom was a manager for artists, so I grew up going to concerts all the time. I like started going to house shows and shit in high school, hung out with a ton of musicians, would play music with a ton of musicians, and I was like, why don't I be an audio engineer and like do this shit? So I just went to school for it. I thought I was going to actually end up I wanted to do studio work, make music.
Mm.
Then I got in school and decided sound for picture would be better because maybe I would be able to make some more money from it. And then I discovered live sound, which is what I went into before the pandemic started, but
What is that?
whatever. Live sound, like if you go to a concert.
Live sound. Oh, okay, I think you said
Yeah.
life. I was like, what is that?
You actually just record like the trees and the leaves and some water and fish bubbling. It's very interesting.
So you said sound for picture, so like sound effects in movies or like that type of stuff, or like scoring the films.
Like I wanted to just edit. Like, have you ever seen you've seen reality TV shows?
Yeah, absolutely.
They're like fake. They're chopped up. They're edited. Like
as fuck.
you have to edit the audio to match the video. You have to they'll cut people off in the middle of a word and you have to make it sound natural. Shit like that. That's why they always.
I'm just picturing Jersey Shore in my head. I'm picturing Jersey Shore like they nailed it though. They nailed it.
Yeah, my professor, he worked on My Super Sweet 16. You know that show?
Yeah.
And he had us edit an episode of that. It was so fun. I don't know. It's just fun to me. It's like a little puzzle. It's like you have to figure this out and make it sound good. And it's rewarding after you get it done and you're like, okay, look at me. I've made something sound not like shit that used to sound like shit.
So for you, the driving, I guess, inspiration would be just the audio universe.
Yeah, I guess I've always just
sounds and
maybe
whatnot.
I'm very what is this? Like orally
Yeah.
stimulated? I don't know.
Yeah. What are some things outside of music that inspire you?
Outside of music, I mean,
Mhm. Like
art and
what do you are okay, let me specifically ask you this. What are some of like your favorite types of movies or books that you've read or foods that you eat
ooh, I
that
love anything spicy, first of all. I love
okay.
spicy food. All of it. Acid reflux hates it, but I will keep going because I hate this body. I will just destroy it. I I forgot already what you said. Movies.
Yeah,
I
like
love
what are some
funny movies.
what are specifically I'm not gonna be like, name me your top three favorite movies. I feel like that puts way
I
too much
can't pick a favorite,
that
but
puts way too much pressure on people. But what are some of the first couple movies that come to mind? You're like, you know what? I've seen that like five
favorite.
times.
So Spirited Away. I love Hayao Miyazaki. I love all of his work, all of his
Animation.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it so much. So that one, I have like three big things. I like cute movies, I like funny movies, and I like, I guess, psychological movies. Like I
Like
loved.
Shutter Island.
I've never seen Shutter Island, but I guess I'll look it up after this.
Man.
Have you heard of Tubi?
I've seen the app. I've never used it, but I've
Dude,
seen
you
the
gotta
app.
use it. They have like a ton of free like horror movies on there. It's really
Wow.
interesting.
Oh, so when
But
you say psychological, you mean horror films.
kind of
Kinda.
like Hereditary. I loved that. I like
Man,
Midsummer too, but I think Hereditary was cooler.
I never seen Midsummer. That was in theaters like last year, wasn't it?
I don't know. I just rented it off YouTube. I rent everything off YouTube.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
But
I Shutter Island is if it's not scary. It's not like a
mhm.
horror film. Leonardo DiCaprio is the lead actor.
Love him.
Yeah, he's my favorite. But yeah, that one. Yeah, you need to check
Don't tell me too much
Shutter
about it
Island.
because I
I'm not gonna
I'll look
say
that
anything.
up. I'll
Shutter
watch it.
it's a total mind fuck. But
Have you seen Perfect Blue?
no, I've never heard of that.
Okay. Have you heard of like Black Swan or anything?
The I
That
haven't
like
I've
Natalie Portman, I think, is in it. I
yeah
haven't seen it.
I haven't watched it, but I know she's like a ballerina dancer or
Yeah.
something.
Well, apparently that was like based off of Perfect Blue or something like that. But Perfect Blue is like an animated psychological like thriller type of movie. It's a big mind fuck. It's like intense and
Mm.
like weird, and I really love stuff like that. I think it's super interesting.
Are you into animation or like anime?
Yeah, I'm a little bit I'm a weeb, like but not a big
Oh, I didn't
one.
even see it. Okay. What is that? What is that in the back?
That's Death Note.
Oh, okay. Ooh, wow. That's
Oh, but I also okay. This is that is I almost said Shankira. That's Godzilla.
Godzilla. Okay.
Yeah.
My they just came out with a Godzilla movie, didn't they? Like
I
last
think
year?
so. I don't know. I've only seen the really old ones. Like seriously,
Shit.
like black and
The
white.
the ones with the Japanese in
Yeah.
Japanese.
Well, the one like the first one I saw was like they took scenes from the original Japanese movie and just like cut them in with American scenes, I guess, where people were speaking English. They just like cut them in so they didn't have to like refilm it or whatever. The whole thing.
Have you ever been out of the country?
Yeah, I've been to a few countries. So I've
Where?
been to England and Scotland. I paid for that trip by myself. And then I have like the best grandparents in the entire universe. Like I seriously, I love them more than anything. And they took all of the grandkids whenever we graduated high school. They took us on a trip wherever we wanted to go, but I'm the youngest of 7, so I didn't really get to pick where I wanted to go, but it was fine. We went to Ecuador and the Galapagos Islands because that was on my grandma's bucket list. And
Nice.
after that trip, my grandpa couldn't fly anymore, so it was like really
Perfect
sweet.
timing.
Yeah.
That's
And then my grandma took me separately, like just the two of us, since my grandpa couldn't fly anymore. After I graduated college, she took me to Canada. We went to Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia. So
wow. What okay. England and Scotland.
sorry, that was a lot.
No,
But that's it. That's the only
yeah,
place I've
that's
been.
awesome. So England and Scotland, that's the motherland for me. You know what
Me
I'm
too,
saying? Like
yeah. Look at me,
so
pasty white.
exactly. I mean shit. But tell me, all right, how much? This is probably a stupid question, but just answer it. How much different is like just regular life in Europe compared to here?
Well,
You know?
I don't know what regular life in Europe is because I was on vacation life, and let me tell
True.
you,
That is true. That is
it's
true.
bougie.
Yeah.
But it is. I mean, I guess it's different. Like I don't know. They're like when you go out to eat, that's
Mm.
different.
Yeah.
People don't talk to you. That's not just like an out of the country
Yeah.
thing. That's like an out of the South thing.
Yeah. I was about
Like
to say, you're in
people just don't
Tennessee.
talk to you.
You're in Tennessee. You go to the gas station. You just say, "Hey," like,
You say hey to anybody. You
just
drive
like,
down the
"What's up?"
street and you go like that on your steering wheel.
Yeah. What's up?
It's just a
Like,
little, I don't
yeah.
know.
Huh.
But in
So what
England
about
and
what? So you went. So you said England and Scotland?
Scotland, which is
Okay.
north of England, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
We like started in Scotland and drove down to England.
What was the weather like?
It was mostly rainy, but I did
Mm.
actually have like a pretty good like summer day. I went in the summer.
Mm.
So it was kind of rainy and wet the whole time. It wasn't like pouring. Um, but there was a couple of days where it was sunny and beautiful. I think I went to Bath and it was actually like really gorgeous, sunny. I wore like shorts and a tank top, and then I
Mm.
realized it's still windy and I'm still cold. I look
Cold.
like an idiot. Like I have goosebumps all over my skin, but whatever.
And then so Canada was for vacation as well.
Canada was for, yeah, they're all for
Okay.
vacation.
Oh, okay, okay. See,
The
I
Galapagos in Ecuador was like my senior trip.
was that like islandy,
Oh,
like
it was
was it
part of it.
like
Like
beachy, like straight beachy vibes
the
there?
Galapagos
Yeah.
totally was. It was like seriously
Mhm.
go. The water is you can see straight
Yeah.
through it. It's like turquoise. I saw
Mm.
crabs and stingrays and
Wow.
like all this shit just like up there in the water. And they're the only place that has marine iguanas. So if you
Wow.
ever want to see a marine iguana, you
Did you
have
see
to
one?
go. Yeah, I saw plenty. I saw a ton.
Hmm.
And I saw a seal shit like right in front of me and then go sit
Hey.
on a bench afterwards. It was
Hey, I mean,
crazy.
that's his house, you know?
Yeah,
Like
I know. I
he
was
had
like,
to go. He had to
look
go,
at
man.
you. I wish I could do that.
Yeah,
I
honestly,
could.
yeah.
I'd be arrested, but I
Right.
could.
Yeah, you got to follow these earth rules.
I know, it's such bullshit.
um so is there any questions that you would like to ask me, or is there any topics that you would like to talk about that before when we had this conversation you're like, "Ooh, I want to make sure we talk about this."
I don't know. I do want to know if you're a little bit weeby.
Absolutely. I opened Pokemon cards on
Yeah, I
camera.
know. So,
Yes, I've watched every Dragon Ball
oh my
episode.
God. I have to show you
Uh,
something. Oh, I don't know if I can.
I have
I'll do it in a
Funko.
minute.
I have Funko Pops. Um, so yeah, I'm a little bit weeby. I collect Pokemon cards. I rekindled my flame, this Pokemon flame at 24. So
Nice.
definitely, yeah. I'm watching, um, wow, Tokyo Ghoul right now. It's on Hulu.
Okay, yeah. I
Have you
haven't
heard?
watched that, but I've
Yeah,
heard of it, yeah.
I just was like, you know what? I'm just gonna pick. I need to watch another anime. I'm just gonna pick it out. It's a little weird, but
Hmm.
I mean, all
That's how,
all anime is a little weird, but that's what I'm on
yeah.
right now. Is Tokyo Ghoul. Yeah. So
I
yes.
started I started watching some like weird older anime from like the 90s. I can't remember what it's called, but it was like this guy dies and then like his
Hmm.
ghost is like going having to do shit to come back to life. I don't remember what it was, but it was really weird. That and Rurouni Kenshin is another old one that I liked.
I
I like the fighty ones, like where they
I do
fight.
too. See, I grew up on Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z. Like literally VHS tapes. Like
Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna take you after this. I have to show you something. Like
Okay.
after we're done, so I'm not like being loud
Yeah.
because my fiance's playing video games out there, but you
Okay.
have to see it.
Oh yeah. Oh, I
You can
wanted to
take like a picture of it and like post it somewhere
I
in
got
case
you.
anybody's like, I have to see what this bitch is talking about.
Um,
But
I meant to ask you this. What is it like being engaged?
it's kind of just like dating somebody, except you
Right.
know you're gonna marry them
Yeah.
for sure.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we were together forever. We knew we were gonna marry each other, so
Hmm.
the only difference is now I have a ring.
Right. So how does it feel though? Like, kind of like
Feels good.
for all my bachelors and single people out there, like
I definitely prefer it. Like
Yeah.
way better.
You feel more
Being
secure?
like there is something fun about first dating somebody and having the butterflies and like you're like, oh, I'm excited to like get to know this person and they're a little mysterious. But then you
Mm,
get to know them and you feel safe and you're happy and like together and you can trust that. I don't know. It's the best.
nice.
Highly recommend.
Nice. So, does your boyfriend like put out music like still like is he putting music out like in the future or like is he putting
Like
it out recently?
currently, yeah, like
Okay.
his band Black Market Kidney Surgeon. I don't know if they released it or if they're going to release it soon.
Hmm.
I'm like the worst fiance because I don't pay attention to that
Okay.
stuff. But his band Black Market Kidney Surgeon is going to release some music soon if they haven't already.
Okay.
Shin Kira released a single. His other band, they released a single not long ago and they're going to release more
Okay.
soon. He's working on editing that. And then he has a solo electronic project
Okay.
formerly called F Hero, but now it's Grave Spitter. I think he's going to do something a little bit different with it.
Okay.
I don't know.
So I do like a blog too, like an entertainment blog.
Oh, cool.
I'll definitely like follow whatever pages he has, and I'll put them on the website.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I do. So like I said, I was journalism major and whatnot, and
So you're like good at writing and shit
I,
like that.
if anybody was to ask me what I am, I would say I'm a writer.
A writer. Oh, I'm so
First.
bad at it. I'm like the least descriptive person. Like when
I,
it comes to writing, I'm like short, sweet, get to the fucking point.
right.
Like I'm so bad at it.
Yeah.
I don't
So
get it. Like I
I
see people write stuff and I'm like, how
mhm.
do you think of those words? I don't get it.
Yeah, on my bucket list is to write a book. I just want to write a novel. I don't know. I have not started it or like any brainstorm, but I
You got time?
I just want
Listen,
to write a book. But
do
it,
it.
I do the blog. I write it's a news website with it's sports, music, video games, movies, that type of stuff. It's just
Nice.
entertainment news but without bullshit. Like the articles are very short and it's like The Rock is starring in this movie and this is the trailer. You know what I'm saying? Like
You just gave me a second thing I have to show you.
cool. So shoot man, I
How
would
long? Cause
we're at about 45 minutes.
okay.
I do want to now that I had an episode with you, an episode with Julie, I would like to do one with both of you guys.
Yeah, definitely. We'd love
Eventually one
that.
day, I think that would be awesome. Um I appreciate you coming on and doing this whole Zoom thing. It's so hard to coordinate because not a lot of people have not a lot of people have, decent cameras and stuff and then,
Oh yeah, sorry.
oh no. It's fine. Like some people feel like, oh, well, I don't know if I have the
Yeah,
right
I don't
equipment
feel like
or
I can do this. Yeah.
right. And I just it's also just hard to find, get people to be the guests on here and like schedule the shit. People have full-time jobs and babies and families and all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
So
I'm almost always free. I have a full-time job and then usually I'm home. I'll be doing
yeah,
stuff, but I can stop it.
absolutely. So all right, I guess final thing, uh tell me one more time about the merch with the Bucky Boost thing and what's to come next.
Ooh. Okay.
And any other comments you want to close us out with?
All right. So the merch, I make it. We got little tie-dyes with our logo. I'm burping right now. This is the logo. We have koozies. We do custom koozies. We can make custom shirts. The back says Bucky Up on it, which is
Nice.
like a little hashtag. And
Yeah,
they're all
yeah.
handmade. My fiance and I screen print. We make
Mm.
like t-shirts with silk screens and plastisol ink. It won't come off. I think. I hope it
Yeah.
won't come off.
Where did you guys make the logo?
I designed it.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, I just drew it up and scanned it on my
Cool.
phone.
Yeah, I swear I made my logo too on just some random website. I paid for it, but I mean,
Yeah.
see, that's the thing about graphic design is you got to make sure like the pixel I don't know shit about graphic design, but you got to make sure the pixels can translate from the watermark over here to
Yeah.
to the shirt and the business card without it being blurry.
Yeah,
It's like this whole thing with, I don't even know, but yeah.
Man, I didn't even think that far into it. I just drew it on a piece of
Mhm.
paper and scanned it in and then made it like a
Yeah.
PNG so it would be see-through. And I was like,
Right.
good enough.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I mean, it worked. Like I made this.
Yeah.
It's like very sharp, crisp.
Right. I didn't know you drew that. I didn't know that
Yeah, I
was
just
hand
drew
drawn.
it.
Nice. I mean, it works. It's good. It's a
It's very
function.
us.
It's a
Like,
functional logo. So yeah. All right. As far as Bucky Boo's podcast, next
yes.
episode, tell me whatever you want to say.
So when is this coming out?
It'll probably be out Thursday or Friday.
Thursday, Friday? Okay, so
Something
the
like
next
that.
episode would be the one that came out on the 18th, which
Okay.
is fun. We like shared a couple of our own Christmas stories and like our traditions that we do and some funny Starbucks stories because obviously that's how we met was Starbucks.
Yeah.
And with Mylena, probably like there's some crazy bitches at Starbucks.
Absolutely.
So
And customers and just people go crazy. It's just something
they
about
go
that
crazy.
building. The building. Yeah.
Yeah, so we just shared some stories like that and it was a fun time. So we are doing if y'all want to send us at Bucky Boo's podcast on Instagram, send us some Christmas stories like when did you find out about Santa Claus or what was your first gift? Just some Christmas story that you think of.
Okay.
And then fun New Year's Eve stories and stuff like that. We're doing 2 listener episodes. We noticed those do pretty well, so we decided to do a twofer and
definitely
get some listeners send in some stories.
definitely get the viewers involved. I mean, so are you guys gonna do a Christmas one and then a New Year's one separate?
So the Christmas one will come out on Christmas Day.
Cool.
The New Year's one will come out on New Year's Eve a week later because we always do Fridays. Like
Friday.
Doesn't matter what day, it's gonna come out.
Okay. Any guests coming soon or well, I guess you guys are kind of booked on you're like Friday is this and then okay, I got you.
Yeah, so
you're kind of booked 3 weeks in advance, damn near, like pretty much.
Yeah, just about. We have because holidays and stuff. I don't do shit on the holidays. I'm staying my ass at home.
Yeah.
But we
I think my sister has COVID right now, so I don't think
Tennessee is number 1.
Are we really?
Yeah, per capita or whatever. Like 1 in 15 people have it.
Wow, it makes sense.
It's crazy. Our beds are filling up. I'm not gonna like get all depressing on
Yeah.
the show, but sorry.
People know, but people need to hear it.
People, stay the fuck home, wear a mask or like seriously, it's not that hard.
Don't do nothing. I mean,
yeah, you can do stuff at home. Listen, look, I have like a canvas here. I'm oil painting. I've oil painted once in my life. I'm taking it up. Like, who cares? Just do something.
Yeah.
Zoom your friends. It's fun. Or Zoom a stranger. Like we've never talked before. We're Zooming tonight. It's fun.
Exactly.
So.
Hope, thank you for coming on for episode number 82. Bucky Boo's podcast, guys. I got the other half of Bucky Boo's podcast in here.
Thank you for having me. This was really fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And yeah,